Good morning, everyone. Okay, this week we are going to be doing something quite exciting. We are going to be planning, so we're going to be designing, making and evaluating our own moving vehicle. And we're going to make it a little bit more exciting, and we're going to make our vehicle a super vehicle. So, what we are going to do today is all about the design process of making your super vehicle. So just for a moment now, I want you to have a think about what you would want your super vehicle to look like, what you would want your super vehicle to be able to do. It's going to have a bit of a power, and that's going to be really important for your design, because it might be that you have to add something to your design that lets your vehicle have its superpower. So it should be quite a lot of fun. But before we go on to the designing part, we need to talk about the special parts of the vehicles and how we're going to make them. Because if we don't think about how we're going to make them, we're not going to be sure on how to design them. So I'm going to talk through with you about wheels and axles. So wheels and axles are a really important part of making a vehicle, especially if it's a car or a bus or a van, something that has got wheels to make it move. So we've got a toy car, and when you push this toy car, how does it move? What has it got on it that makes it move? That's right, it's got the wheels. The wheels turn, and that's what helps the cars to move. If it didn't have the wheels, it wouldn't go anywhere. Now, when you push the toy car, the wheels turn, which is how it moves. Do you think all the wheels turn at the same time, or do you think they turn at different times? At the same time. And there's a special way that they do that, and that is called an axle. They turn at the same time because the two wheels are joined onto an axle, which means that when the wheels turn, the axle turns too, and it moves both sides at the same time. And axles and wheels aren't just on toy cars, they're on our real cars as well. On real cars and vans and buses, they have the axles that go underneath the vehicle, and that's what makes the wheels move. So, when we're making a moving vehicle like you're going to, it's really important that we secure the wheels in place, because if we put the wheels on the axle but don't secure them, don't put something there to stop them falling off, then as your vehicle rolls, your poor wheels are just going to drop off. So we do have to use them. So on this we call them washers, but at home you most likely don't have washers. So what you could use is bits of blue tack on the end of each of on your axle. Or you could use elastic bands to wrap around the side, you could use clay. What you need to do is you need to use something to fix the wheels in place so they don't fall off. Then we have a chassis. So as you can see, we have got the axle that goes through the box. This is our chassis, and that's the base of our vehicle. That's the bottom of our vehicle. Okay, so in this chassis, it's an upside down shoebox. Now some of you might decide to do it like this and then build your vehicle on top of your chassis. Some of you might decide just to use a box and just poke your axle through the bottom of the box. So there's a few different ways you can do it, but this is the next step in being able to make our vehicle. Okay. Also, let's have a think now. So we know that we need wheels, we know that we need an axle to put the wheels on to make them move at the same time, and we also know that we need a chassis, or we need our body of our vehicle. So let's focus on the wheels for now. What do you think you could use for your wheels, for your vehicle? Let's have a look. We could use some wooden wheels. Sometimes you find some wooden wheels that you put on the end. They're usually made of something called MDF. So some of you might have those at home. If not, we have wheels from plastic brick toys, cotton reels. Some of your grown-ups might have done some sewing and they might have some spare cotton reels that you could use for your wheels. Or another one that's not on here that I'm sure lots of you have are bottle tops. Bottle tops are nice and round and we can use those as our wheels. So there's a few ideas of things we can use to create the wheels on our vehicle. Now, this is the axle. Let's have a think about how we'd make the axle, the stick in the middle that makes our wheels move at the same time. So, you could use wooden dowel. Some of you might have those wooden sticks, the wooden dowel. They're a good thing to use to create your vehicle. Some of you might have straws. Straws are another good one to use. Or cotton buds. If you're making a little vehicle, you might use cotton buds. So if you're at home, something I think most of you might have is straws. That's probably the best one for you to use at home. And how we attach it to the chassis, we've spoken about this a little bit, but we just poke it through the bottom. Can you see the holes here? We have to poke the axle through the chassis and then pop the wheels on after. And here we've got our washers to fix the wheels in place. They're not stuck to the wheels, they're just stopping the wheels from falling off. And as we said earlier, we could use things like elastic bands, blue tack, clay, all sorts of things, because most of us probably don't have washers at home. And then finally, when you're designing your vehicle, you need to think about what you want your vehicle to do, the purpose of your vehicle. So as I've said, we are going to be creating a super vehicle. So before we design our vehicle, we need to think about what we want it to be able to do. So I'm going to have a think, what would I like my super vehicle to be able to do? Well, I would like my super vehicle to be able to fly. So I'm going to have a car. My vehicle is going to be a car, but I would like it to have wings so it can fly. And I want it to have super speed. That sounds fun. So I'm going to have some speed boosters on the back of my vehicle so it can have super speed both when it's driving on the ground and when it's flying in the air. So now we go on to the design part. So you're going to have a design sheet at home which looks very similar to this. I've done it over 2 pages, but you have got it on just 1 page. So I'm going to talk you through how to fill that design sheet in now. So the first bit says materials I will use to make my vehicle. So we know the important things we need to have when we make a vehicle are wheels, axles, and a body, so a chassis. So I need to think about what I want to use to be able to make my vehicle. So I'm going to first think of my axle, and I'm going to make my axle out of straws. So I'm going to need some straws. That's the first material that I need. Or straws. That's my axle. Now I'm going to think about what I'm going to use for my wheels. I'm thinking about something that we might have at home, so I'm going to use a bottle top. I'm going to use bottle tops for my wheels. Bottle tops. So I've done my axle, I've done my wheels, and now I need to think about how I want to build the body of my vehicle. So I think I'm going to have my axle go straight through the bottom of my box. So I'm going to have 2 boxes of different size. So I'm going to have 1 small box and 1 big box. I'm going to put my box on my vehicle on 2 levels. And now I'm going to think, well, how am I going to decorate it? How am I going to make it look really good? So I said I want to have some wings and a speed boost at the back because it's a super vehicle. So I'm going to have some cardboard to be able to make sure I can make those. So cardboard. So I can make those. And then I might decide I want to paint my vehicle at the end to make it the colours that I like. It might be that I stick coloured paper on it at the end to make it how I want it to look. So I'm also going to have some paint. There we go. And I do want it to have some windows and things, so I'm also going to have some white paper that I can stick onto my vehicle. So I'm going to have white paper, and of course if I'm sticking, I'm also going to need to have glue. Glue. There we go, that's a long list of materials, the things that I'm going to use to make my vehicle. Now I need to think about the equipment I need and the techniques I'm going to use. So depending on what you've chosen, you might need different things. If you've chosen to use wooden dowel, you might need a saw to be able to cut up your dowel to the right length. If I'm using straws and I want to cut my axle to the right length, what do you think I could use? Scissors. So I can use scissors, to cut my axle to the right length. Okay. But some of you might have a go at using a saw if you're using a bit of wood at home for your axle. What else? What other equipment will I need? So we've kind of got a lot of the materials that I'm going to need here. So we've got scissors, that's something I need. Techniques that I'm going to use. So how am I going to make it? So I'm going to use a lot of sticking and cutting. I'll have to make a hole in my wheels. So I'm going to say, what can I use? I need something sharp. Maybe a pin to make a hole in the bottle top. So pin to make a hole in the top. So that one's got a bit less in it because most of the things we need to know are our materials. Okay. And then here we need scissors and a pin to be able to make the holes, to be able to cut the things. We've got glue over here, but maybe we could put glue over here too. Okay, now on to the fun part. We've decided what equipment we want to use, and we've decided what materials we need to make our vehicle with. So now we get to draw it. So I said I wanted to do mine in 2 boxes. One bigger box and one smaller box. So I'm going to put the bigger box on the bottom. So I quite like the colour purple, purpley pink. So I'm going to draw my bigger box here. I'm going to colour it in. This is going to be my bigger box at the bottom. There we go. And then I'm going to have a smaller box on top. There we go. And then I'm going to have bottle top wheels. So I'm going to just draw my wheels on now. I might paint my wheels if I want them to be a certain colour. There we go. And my axle will go through, but I don't need to draw that one on there. So this is what it looks like. Now I said I need it to have a speed boost on the back. So on the back I'm going to have maybe a little brown tube or a couple of brown tubes, and I'm going to make some flames come out of those. My speed boost. So when I make that, I might use paper to make that. I might use tissue paper, I might use cardboard. I'm going to make it go really, really fast. And then the other thing I said I needed was wings. I want my super vehicle to be able to fly. So let's see if Miss Nee can have a go at drawing some wings. Let's have them. There's one. And then the other one will be on the other side. Wings. And they're going to help it to fly. And just like I said, I want to be able to decorate my vehicle so it looks nice. So I said I'd have some white stickers so I can make some windows. I might make some headlights. There we go. So that's my design. I can do a much better design than me. And once you've had a go at making your design, you can have a go at labelling it. So as I spoke through my vehicle, I told you what all the different parts were. So I said, oh, I'm going to make that a bit thinner. I said this one, that's my wheel. I might say it's my bottle top wheel. Bottle top wheel. And then I might say cardboard wings. Cardboard wings. I might say this is my my chassis, because that's the body of my vehicle. Or I might decide just to say that it's, get rid of that one, I might just say it's the bottom of the car, very simply, and this is the top of the car. This bit over here is my speed booster. And this bit over here was my window. And there we have it. I have designed my super vehicle and I have labelled it so it's really clear what the different parts are. And if we go back here, we've also had to think about the materials that we're going to use to make the vehicle and the equipment we're going to use to help us to do that. So, now it's your turn. You are going to have the same design sheet as me. And what you're going to do is you're going to do exactly the same, but first you must think about what you want your super vehicle to do. Because if I didn't know that I wanted my super vehicle to fly, I wouldn't have been able to add wings. And if I didn't know that I wanted my super vehicle to have a speed boost, I wouldn't have been able to add the speed boost on my design. So, first job, think about what superpower you want your vehicle to have. What vehicle do you want to make? You might not make a car, you might make a bus, you might make a train, you might make a lorry. There's all sorts of vehicles. I've chosen a car, but that doesn't mean you have to. So you're going to think about the vehicle you want to make, the superpower it's going to have, and then you're going to go through the design sheet that we've just gone through together. Think about what materials you're going to use to make it, how you're going to make it, and then draw a lovely picture and label it of what you hope it's going to look like at the end. I hope you have lots of fun designing your vehicle. Bye!